While tidying up my room yesterday, I managed to unearth an absolute relic from our childhood.
Did you hit the jackpot or something? Are we talking about a vintage robot, an action figure, or a piggy bank stuffed with thousands?
Oh, something far more majestic. A glass marble with a massive chip on one side.
Wait, what? You hoarded a chipped marble like some precious treasure? Have you lost your mind?
You have no idea, this is the legendary chipped marble that helped me conquer the entire neighborhood on a blazing summer afternoon. Back then, I was crowned Grand Chief of the Alley, the Marble Grandmaster.
Sounds as epic as a martial arts saga. So, how long did you manage to hold on to that throne?
For about 3 glorious hours.
Your reign fell apart faster than a degraded phone battery draining to zero.
Well, my mom called me in for dinner at dusk, and the very next morning, they completely wiped out my marble stash. But it was exhilarating. Back then, having just one stunning marble was enough to flex for an entire week.
I have to admit that's true. When I was little, I had this wooden spinning top that I was utterly obsessed with.
Could it spin for long?
It spun for a mere 5 seconds before the neighbor's kid ran over and begged for a turn. He hurled it with all his might, and the top launched itself straight into the drainage ditch.
Haha, talk about a spectacular emergency landing.
Emergency? More like it evaporated without a trace. It's so true that in our childhood, the things we cherished the most always met the most tragic fates.
Spot on. Beautiful sandals drifted down the river, premium footballs got stuck in the highest branches, and vibrant kites ended up perched majestically on rooftops.
And what about learning to ride a bicycle?
Ah, pedaling with supreme confidence, letting go of the handlebars to look utterly cool, only to launch myself headfirst into a banana grove.
Oh my goodness. Please don't tell me you bawled your eyes out after that.
I kept a perfectly stoic face. I didn't shed a single tear.
That's some serious endurance. Then who did the crying?
My trousers did the crying.
Ha ha! Torn right down the middle, I suppose?
Ripped so artistically that my mother recognized the masterpiece from all the way at the front gate.
And how did she react to that?
She put her hands on her hips and interrogated, "You got into another brawl, didn't you?"
What was your comeback?
I declared proudly, "No, ma'am. I engaged in combat with the banana grove, and the banana grove emerged victorious."
An answer truly worthy of a perfect 10 for brutal honesty. Back then, absolutely anything could be turned into a fierce adversary.
That reminds me of the time I climbed a tree to pluck guavas.
Was the harvest a triumphant success?
A resounding success in getting utterly stranded up in the branches.
Meaning you couldn't figure out a way down?
I scaled it as swiftly as a squirrel, but the moment I peered down, a chilling realization hit me. I had only mastered the art of ascending, not descending.
So who ultimately rescued the little squirrel?
My dad. He had to haul out a ladder to bring me back down to earth.
Did you face the wrath of the cane afterward?
No, he didn't scold me immediately. He just looked at me and let out a chuckle first.
Oh, that is the most perilous breed of parent imaginable.
Why perilous?
Because when they laugh, you falsely believe you've been spared. It's not until nightfall that the dark clouds gather, and the lecture begins, stretching out longer than an endless soap opera.
You couldn't be more precise. My mom was exactly the same. When I tried to conceal a terrible test score,
What was the score? Confess.
don't even ask. The grade was so abysmal that the exam paper itself wanted to roll up in pure humiliation.
Where on earth did you hide it to still be exposed?
Wedged tightly inside a comic book. A flawless scheme, right?
Until your mother decided to embark on a room cleaning crusade?
Exactly. She opened that exact comic book to that exact page on that exact day. Pure, unadulterated fate.
And what were her words?
She gently lifted the paper and inquired, "Are you planning to turn this grade into a vintage collectible?"
Your mom is devastatingly profound, so gentle, yet inflicting maximum emotional damage.
It stung, but it's unforgettable. Soaked in tears, yet hilarious in hindsight. Looking back, we used to be terrified of the most trivial things, didn't we?
Fearing a scolding, terrified of shattering the dishes,
Dreading forgotten homework, And most of all, the paralyzing fear of being unexpectedly called to the blackboard.
But isn't it strange? We never feared scaling towering trees, nor did we hesitate to run barefoot across scorching sand.
We didn't fear the blistering sun burning our skin, nor were we afraid of getting our clothes completely plastered in mud.
Looking at it now, our childhood selves were genuinely fearless.
It wasn't bravery.
Then what was it?
It was simply because our minds hadn't yet been burdened by overthinking.
How true. The older we grow, the more we entangle ourselves in endless calculations and anxieties.
In our youth, the urge to play meant charging straight out into the yard. Now, merely scheduling a reunion with an old friend requires syncing calendars to see if a sliver of time exists.
Back then, buying a simple popsicle secured a whole day of joy. Today, we sit sipping a premium cup of coffee, yet our minds are endlessly haunted by looming deadlines.
There are moments I fervently wish to slip back into my childhood for just a single day.
To what end?
To once again sprint freely across the yard, playing pogs and shooting marbles until the familiar echo of my mother calling me for dinner fills the air.
Devoid of smartphones.
Stripped of social media,
Untethered from the relentless pressure of making a living,
leaving nothing but crystalline laughter.
and a few rugged scrapes on our knees.
Those very scrapes were our medals of childhood.
You've spoken the absolute truth. It is bizarre, Alex.
What is?
As children, every single one of us prayed to grow up as fast as possible to step into the adult world.
And now that we don the mantle of adulthood,
We crave nothing more than a deep, dreamless slumber, much like our younger days, waking up in the morning without the crushing weight of endless worries.
our childhood might not have been a portrait of perfection. It lacked extravagant toys.
Yet, it was profoundly authentic.
Those eras, untouched by wealth or technology,
Were overflowing with genuine laughter and profound tranquility.
I believe that is the precise reason why, whenever we cast our minds back to the days of old.
Have you ever noticed a peculiar phenomenon about humanity?
What phenomenon? Are we suddenly transitioning into street philosophers?
As kids, each of us harbored dreams as colossal as mountains. But as the years go by, those dreams shrink until they fit perfectly into a two-word tomb, maybe later.
Don't remind me. That maybe later is a heavily padlocked vault storing hundreds of dust-covered ambitions. So, what was your grand childhood dream?
I'll go first. Back then, my heart was set on becoming an illustrious pop star.
Truly? And how far did your musical trajectory take you?
Well, one day, I boldly stood up and unleashed a booming vocal performance before the entire class.
Did the audience erupt into thunderous applause?
Oh, they certainly did. They clapped with tremendous fervor.
Impressive. I assumed you were on the fast track to global stardom.
They applauded, signaling me to cease the singing and restore peace to the classroom.
My apologies. I don't mean to be rude, but that is overwhelmingly hilarious.
I laugh at myself too. But make no mistake, my singing dream was never truly extinguished.
Did it undergo some sort of metamorphosis?
It evolved into a far more intimate edition, the lone maestro of the shower.
Where the showerhead serves as your most fiercely loyal audience.
And the cascading water provides an endless standing ovation. What about you? What was your grand design?
I once dreamed of becoming an astronaut, piercing the veil of the cosmos.
Formidable! What exactly drove your desire to abandon planet Earth?
Because I theorized that upon the moon, alarm clocks are non-existent, and waking up at dawn for school is not required.
Haha, a rationale befitting an exemplary student. So why are you still anchored down here?
I later discovered that being an astronaut demands 100-fold more mathematics and physics. Consequently, I voluntarily executed a safe landing back into reality.
In our youth, we reveled in dreaming simply because the concept of impossible had yet to enter our vocabulary, right?
Precisely. We yearned to be superheroes, to conquer the skies, to engineer a time machine.
Some even demanded to domesticate a dinosaur as a household pet.
Now, that dream edges dangerously close to boundless ambition.
I found it completely logical. Who knows? Perhaps it had a modest appetite.
In what universe does a dinosaur have a modest appetite?
Regardless of its diet, at least it wouldn't demand a monthly rent payment like our current landlords.
Against such a perspective, I surrender entirely to your logic.
But I find it profoundly strange. As children, we define success as achieving astronomical fame, where the entire world knew your face and chanted your name.
And in the present day?
Now, securing a vocation you genuinely cherish and living abundantly through it feels like a colossal triumph of happiness.
Utterly true. We no longer need the globe to shout our names. We merely desire to wake up each dawn without releasing an exhausted, heavy sigh.
Sounds deceivingly simple, doesn't it?
Yet, executing it is an absolute masterpiece of an art. Tell me, do you harbor any lingering, unfulfilled dreams in the present?
I aspire to master a brand new skill with the passing of each year.
Illuminate me with an example.
Perhaps acquiring a foreign tongue or delving into the realm of advanced culinary arts.
Please don't tell me your inaugural advanced dish is boiling instant noodles.
Instant noodles can embody the very pinnacle of culinary artistry, I'll have you know.
What fragment of artistry resides within a packet of noodles?
The meticulous timing of exactly 3.5 minutes to achieve a sumptuously runny yolk and perfectly al dente strands.
Very well, your defense is formidable. As for myself, I yearn to traverse countless lands, crossing paths with myriad souls to absorb their tales, to witness a world vastly more expansive than the narrow routines we circle daily.
That is a magnificent vision. Do you know what terrifies me the most at this very moment?
The specter of failure?
No. Failure merely demands a reboot. My deepest terror is glancing back 5 or 10 years from now, only to realize I have remained cemented in the exact same spot.
Confronting an ever-shifting reality with absolute stagnation, huh?
We are not obligated to sprint at breakneck speed, but we are absolutely compelled to keep moving forward.
Indeed. Occasionally, retreating a single step is entirely acceptable.
And do you know the purpose of that backward stride?
2. Gather the momentum needed for a monumental leap forward, naturally.
Precisely. Existence frequently demands such calculated tactical retreats.
Every sentence you construct resonates with the profound depth of quotes destined for a premium wall calendar.
As long as the reader doesn't rip off the page and toss it into the abyss, I am content. Laughs.
Imagine if tomorrow, the towering barricades of time and currency completely dissolved. What would be your very first decree?
I would immediately launch into the very endeavor I have relentlessly shoved aside under the guise of, I'll figure it out tomorrow.
You wouldn't indulge in a moment of respite first?
We have wallowed in the paralyzing comfort of procrastination for far too many years already.
That stings, but it is the raw truth. The chains that bind us most tightly aren't necessarily forged by our circumstances, but by those two lethal words, maybe tomorrow.
A single day of maybe tomorrow mutates into a week, then a year, and before we can even blink, entire chapters of our youth have vanished into thin air.
Therefore, from this breath onward, I would rather embark on a clumsy, unpolished start than endlessly await a mirage of perfection that will never manifest.
Because perfection is a phantom that only reveals itself deep within the journey, never at the starting line.
It turns out, a dream is not a lullaby designed to grant us a more peaceful sleep each night.
But rather, it is the vital spark that jolts us awake every dawn, arming us with a radiant smile.
As long as a single ember of purpose remains to fuel the effort, the dream continues to draw breath.
And provided we refuse to surrender, no dream comes stamped with an expiration date.
It is solely humanity that chooses to cast them into the void.
So, shall we summon another round of coffee to the table?
No.
Why ever not?
I wish to order an extra shot of unbridled courage.
Ha! I am afraid this establishment does not serve that particular delicacy, my valiant friend.
Have you ever paused to contemplate how existence mirrors the exact essence of a cup of coffee?
Are we reigniting the street philosopher protocol once more?
I present the question in earnest. Grace me with your profound answer.
Is it akin to consuming too much, causing your heart to drum like a battlefield march, leaving you staring into the abyss of a sleepless night?
You possess a world-class, unmatched talent for violently obliterating any lingering atmosphere of romance.
I am merely voicing the harsh reality. But very well, you were implying.
Implying what?
You were implying that, despite its initial bitter assault, a slow, deliberate savoring will eventually unveil a profoundly sweet aftertaste, correct?
Impeccably deduced. That is the very essence of life.
Indeed, certain days flow with the seamless grace of a symphony. Yet, on others, the moment your eyes pry open, your soul simply demands you shut them and surrender back to sleep.
I testify to that. Many mornings, I awaken with a blazing inferno of determination.
And then what transpires?
I march into the washroom, brush my teeth, and that roaring inferno vanishes without leaving so much as an ash.
I wager it rode the crest of the toothpaste foam straight down into the abyssal depths of the drain.
The probability of that is extraordinarily high.
In truth, I believe every mortal soul experiences days where their internal power abruptly shuts down. The ultimate test lies in whether one can forge the energy to recharge and rise once more.
Absolutely. In the past, I envisioned happiness as something of colossal grandeur, acquiring a sprawling mansion, piloting a luxurious chariot.
And where does your philosophy stand today?
Today, allowing a single day to glide by in undisturbed peace is a gift of incalculable worth.
Unassaulted by the relentless shrill of a phone demanding the toll of a deadline.
Free from the frantic, breathless race against the hands of the clock.
Reduced simply to nesting in the corner of a familiar sanctuary.
Savoring a vessel of richly brewed coffee.
And weaving endless tapestries of conversation about the universe with a kindred spirit.
It sounds so utterly rudimentary, doesn't it? Yet, amidst this chaotic cyclone of modern existence, it has been an eternity since we captured an afternoon of such pure tranquility.
Speaking of this, it summons to mind a proverb I hold in the highest regard.
What magnificent words are those?
Never surrender your chapter 1 to the brutal comparison of another's chapter 20.
That pierces the soul. I used to foolishly cast my own shadow against the brilliance of others, only to drown myself in an ocean of self-inflicted stress.
Who hasn't plummeted into that treacherous snare? Witnessing peers accelerate faster, seizing triumph earlier, injects a venomous impatience into our veins.
Culminating in a sudden, dark interrogation of our very own capabilities.
Yet, enlightenment finally struck me. Every solitary soul among us marches to the rhythm of their own personal time zone.
It is the ultimate truth. Some blossoms erupt into vivid glory at the dawn of spring, while others bide their time, demanding the chilling kiss of winter to reveal their vibrant hues.
And those late bloomers radiate a breathtaking splendor entirely their own, provided we don't violently uproot ourselves simply because the neighboring oak stands taller.
Oh, that particular metaphor rings with a rather agonizing resonance for the poor tree.
Savage, yet flawlessly accurate. I absorbed yet another vital lesson along the way.
Unveil this lesson.
We are entirely incapable of orchestrating the satisfaction of every living entity traversing this globe.
Spot on. Even a masterpiece of a heavenly, aromatic pizza attracts critics, let alone a flawed human being.
Haha, precisely. Therefore, if every passing soul nods in unanimous approval of you,
then you have undeniably transformed into a deeply discounted piece of clearance merchandise.
haha, an analogy so brutally grounded in reality, it hurts.
I am merely attempting to dissect existence through an uncompromising lens. So, when the shadows of misunderstanding fall upon you, or your tireless efforts meet with hollow silence, what is your sanctuary?
I forge an exceptionally fragrant elixir of coffee solely for myself.
And the next protocol?
I demand of my own reflection, for whose sake am I waging this war? Should the answer echo back, as for my own soul, I relentlessly forge ahead.
And what if the endeavor was launched merely to bathe in the applause of the masses?
Then I sever the effort with absolute immediacy, because true serenity is never defined by a life entirely stripped of tempests and chaos.
It is possessing the unyielding anchor to ensure that, when the storms rage, they do not sweep away the very core of your identity.
Great heavens! That declaration is nothing short of majestic. Yet, crafting the words is effortless. Forging the reality is a monumental trial.
That is precisely why we must engage in daily combat training. It is akin to putting the mind through a grueling physical regimen.
However, those two disciplines occupy entirely different stratospheres.
In what divergent manner?
Physical exertion shatters the muscles, while the forging of the mind ruthlessly shatters the ego.
Haha, a flawless 10 for spectacular quality. That sentence demands to be framed and elevated upon a pedestal.
Do you sense a profound metamorphosis within yourself lately?
Unequivocally, the transformation has been seismic.
Chart the trajectory for me.
Historically, I was driven by a feral, combative bloodlust, possessed by a burning obsession to conquer every single debate.
And in this present iteration of you?
Now, a stark revelation has dawned on me. Whether I reign victorious or face crushing defeat in an argument, when the sun sets, I still have to wash my own damn dishes and cups.
Ha ha, the absolute sheer irrelevance. But you strike at the truth. Brutal reality remains the ultimate victor. As for me, I once believed I had to sprint at breakneck speed just to evade the terror of being left behind in the dust.
And how has the paradigm shifted now?
The desperate need for velocity has evaporated. Now, I merely crave to run upon the correct path. Sprinting blindingly fast in the wrong direction yields nothing but paralyzing exhaustion.
Exacting accuracy. Tell me, if you were granted the power to hurl a single message back through time to yourself from a decade ago, what words would you forge?
I would command, do not play the fool by sacrificing your slumber to agonize over trivialities that, a decade from now, will be entirely erased from your memory.
How immensely liberating that sounds. I would etch into my own mind. Do not cower before the specter of error, for the most magnificent truths I wield today were born directly from the ashes of spectacular, catastrophic blunders in the past.
Therefore, on this very day, we simply ignite our spirits and live with absolute ferocity.
Radiating kindness into the world, relentlessly devouring the unknown and the novel.
Letting boundless laughter ring out, and never hoarding a sincere breath of gratitude or an authentic apology.
This fleeting existence burns out far faster than our mortal minds can comprehend.
Yet it grants just enough time for us to forge a masterpiece out of the flawed version of ourselves we were yesterday.
An undeniable truth. Untangling these thoughts with you today has been an absolute triumph of joy, Emna.
The feeling is entirely mutual. Upon reflection, it possesses a rather humorous irony.
Elaborate on the irony.
We initially anchored ourselves here merely to drain a cup of coffee and dissolve our superficial tensions.
Yet we find ourselves hauling away a massive, bursting cargo sack of existential philosophy.
We are vastly fortunate the proprietor does not calculate the bill based upon the sheer volume of profound revelations we have hurled at one another.
Haha, were that the case, we would undoubtedly be chained to the sinks, scrubbing dishes for a solid week to extinguish the debt.
Well then, let us bind our fates to return once more, to resurrect this ritual of coffee,
and to continuously weave the tapestries of tales that ignite our shared laughter.
serving as an eternal beacon to remind ourselves, no matter how vicious and chaotic the whirlwind of existence outside becomes,
as long as we can carve out a sacred sliver of time to rest unhurried beside a kindred spirit,
then the day has already cemented itself as an absolute, undeniable triumph worthy of a radiant smile.